work first of all. If you're short on time, you do your main body work, mask it all off, do the respray on it, and then basically when it's done, unmask it, and you can carry on doing jobs like this afterwards. You can do. I've been doing this. I had to go back to work, ran out of time, but I'm doing that gradually. And when I've got a few days off, I can then apply the top coat, etc. on that one. Trying to think if there's any more tips before I wrap the video up. I did have something I wanted to say. Yeah, when it comes to applying the spray paint, sometimes you'll see the paint going cloudy. It's not always the end of the world. Leave it 10 minutes, leave it quarter of an hour, and then you might see that from when you initially sprayed it on, you waited for a few minutes. Say, for example, I started off in this area, went all the way down the car, got to here, got to the finish area, and then went back and had a look at the paint afterwards. I might see that certain areas started to go cloudy. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you can come back 10-15 minutes later and see that the paint, instead of being cloudy, is nice and shiny again, how you want it to go on. So you might get defects like that, but you can watch how the paint's coming out of the can, watch how the paint's settling on the car. If you can see looks a bit rough, then go over it again. Keep the can moving, don't go from side to side too fast, but just keep the can moving all the time. Try not to spend too long in one area, or you'll end up with runs. Hey, anybody can have runs appear in a panel. You know, I think even the pros they get runs appear on a panel. So don't worry too much about it if you do get runs, but try and minimize them as much as you can. And then yeah, you see the paint going on. You just got to keep looking at the paint as it's going on. Always have a light. If you work in a dark space, have a light over. Have a head torch on or something. Have a mask on to protect you from the fumes, etc. Follow the instructions on the spray can. Shake the spray can. Shake it up and down. I thought, and I was corrected by one or two people. I thought, oh, you can shake the can like this from side to side. You can make it easier for yourself rather than wearing yourself out shaking the spray can up and down. Shaking it from side to side apparently doesn't mix the agitator board in there properly, so you can end up with a rough paint mixture. So yeah, follow the instructions on the can. As far as if you find the paint isn't going on very smoothly, then go in a little bit closer to the surface, but don't go in really, really close. If you go really close, go too much too far too soon, you'll end up with a big build-up of paint and you're more chance of a run. Lacquer is really difficult to apply. Lacquer, that looked like it was going cloudy as well, so I held the can a bit closer, and it was fine all the way along here until I got to where the panel really drops off. Then building up this area is where I got one or two, and I can't remember exactly where they were because it looks nice and shiny and flat now, but I got one or two runs across the panel. Going back to the slight imperfection in colour, I think that's because I disturbed the run basically. Looking at this section here, there's a slight imperfection down the side, a slight difference in colour. You can probably just better see it on the video if I go with that angle. I don't think there's anything else I can do. I don't think there's a lot I can do about that, to be honest with you. I think it's just going to be a slight imperfection because I've taken a lot of the lacquer off in trying to flatten it out, and it might be that the metallic particles in the top coat have been exposed more so than they would have settled down, and it may be that the discoloration is caused because of that. Maybe I disturbed the metallic paint underneath, but you know, the surface is flat. Largely it looks good. Someone could maybe explain, if they want to, why I've got those funny patches in the paintwork. Some expert, I don't mind. If you want to shed a bit of throw a bit of advice into the video, then in the comments, etc. If you want to comment, then yeah, feel free to do so. I'm by no means an expert. I'm still learning, getting there. So yeah, so I think there's anything else. Oh, 35 minutes now. 35 minutes of video time. I'm trying to throw as many tips at you as I can here. What else can I quickly cover? Oh yeah, knife in putty. If you want to build up an edge on with knife in putty, say for example if you want to build up this edge here and you're having too much of a trouble with a filler, and you get knife and putty on there, and the knife and putty is dry when it's dry, as it starts to dry as soon as you take out the tube. You're trying to build up the edge, it's just flaking off constantly. Keep wetting your finger, constantly wet your finger and run it over the edge of the knife and putty. You'll think, am I going to affect the way the knife putty is made? Am I going to affect the mixture? Is it going to set properly? It sets. It'll set. Mold it as if you're making something, on a pottery wheel, as if you're grabbing loads of bucket full of water and molding a vase or a jug or something. Do that and it will set. It will go to the exact shape you want it to go to, and just keep wetting your finger and keep repeatedly, rather than trying to spread it out dry and it all come back off. It'll come back away from there. Just wet your finger and just smooth it right out. That edge there, the whole edge, from I think it was from here somewhere, all the way down to more or less the bottom there, and a lot of imperfections. It's all dusty now, but a lot of the bottom corner, the bottom edge, was tatty and dented, and I've made that up with filler and knife and putty to finish with. So, and it's cut pretty good. In general, I mean, that looks in general it looks like a good job. I'm pleased with that, considering I've done it all off my own back. Some advice from people who work in body shops, but the graft mainly myself, apart from friends who've harped out with the with sanding bits and bobs down, spraying one or two bits for me, such as the parking sensors, which go into the bumper strip, and the toe bore cover. I'm quite for a spray can job, I'm happy with how the paint's gone on. You look at the door, that's a gun job, a spray gun job, and then a spray can job. At a glance, there's not a lot of difference, to be honest with you. You can see, if you look really closely, you can't see it on this camera. It's not good enough quality. Maybe you can maybe pick it up there. See that tiny little bit of matting effect on there? See that panel there, where you can see the roof. That little looks like a bee sting in the middle of the panel now. I'll move it down. You see the bee sting going up, and then you see the matting. See the matting appearing on the surface. That's spray. That's how it comes out of the spray can. It comes out. It won't come out as smoothly as a spray gun. But then if I hold it at different, if I pan out a bit and just go across at different angles, it blends in. It looks okay. It doesn't look too bad. It's just if you want to find the imperfections in it, you can. But in general, I mean, if you saw the car driving down the road, if you're pedestrian on the pavement, you're going to see the car. You're going to see the car coming past you. You're not going to notice. You're not going to notice. I mean, I could spend the money and get all the professional spray, the spray gun and everything, but it's going to cost me a bomb, and I haven't got that money at the moment. Got a kid on the way, so spray can job it is. And maybe in the future, sand the whole surface down, buy a compressor, buy a spray gun, and because I've already done the graft now, all I've got to do is sand this whole thing down, maybe level out the back a little bit more in places, and then spray gun job it is. And but yeah, if I can think of anything else, I'll upload another video to this one. If there's anything immediately after this video that I've forgotten about, then I'll try and help you out as best I can. If you want to ask any questions, not sure anything I've commented on, maybe I've waffled on and or haven't been as informative as you would have liked on one particular topic, then message me about it. I won't advertise brand names, but I can try and describe pros and cons of different components. What's the word? Materials and things you're going to use to build up paint, for example, paint, sandpaper, whatever have you. Okay then, I think that's long enough. Okay. Thanks for watching.